Hi everybody, it's Mr. Berkey. I'm really excited because today we're going to be learning about fractions and decimals and how we can convert fractions into decimals, and from decimals we can convert those into fractions. I'm really excited for us to go through this. I have an exit ticket and I will be showing you exactly how to do one problem on the exit ticket, so I know that you should at least get 30 points. The first thing we're going to do is just go over some basic review problems in IXL. Before we do that, I want us to look at a document that I just made. This is a document that talks about our place value. I know a lot of us have been struggling with place value because on the pretest, I had you write out some decimals in word form, and not many of you were able to do it. So I want us to go through really quickly, and I'm going to read it through once, and then I would like you to read it through after, okay? So I'm just going to go through my place values, and I'm going to read those once, and then you read after. I'll give you 10 seconds to read them. Hundreds, tens, ones, decimal, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Your turn. Ready? Go. If you need more time than the time I'm giving you, you can pause the video. You can also pause the video here and minimize it if you want to, and have this image pulled up while you're on IXL. Now, I'm going to go through and I'm going to read what this number is out loud in word form. 237 and, when we get to a decimal place, we say and. We say and. 237 and 891 thousandths. I know that sounds very strange, but that's how it is. It took me a second to do it. I'm going to do it one more time, and then I would like you to repeat after me. 237 and 891 thousandths. Your turn. Ready? Go. Okay. The reason I want to go over this is because it is going to be helpful today for what we're doing. Let's go ahead and I'm going to go back to IXL. I'm going to click on the first one here. We're going to do a couple example problems in both. Okay. What decimal number is illustrated? To do this, we have to count. Now, you can count every single box if you want to. I'm just letting you know, when you see a 10 by 10 square, this is going to be 100 total, okay? So you can count by tens in each column. There's 10 in each column. Let's count by tens. Ready, set, go. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Now this one is not all the way 10. So we can count individually, or I know it's 8 because there's 2 missing. So I know there are 68 shaded, okay? First, I'm going to write this as a fraction, 68 over 100. How would we write 68 over 100 as a decimal? I'm going to show you this picture again. 68 over 100. We're trying to make it into a decimal, so what would we need to do? We have our hundredths spot, and that's where our decimal needs to go, okay? I know some of you were able to come up with that on your own. So the way that we write this, we can write it 2 different ways. Actually, 3 different ways. 0.68, that's one. Another way, you can add a 0 to the end. That's totally fine as well. You can also just do 0.68. All of those are the same thing. How would I say this in word form? I have 0.68. How would I say that in word form? I would say that in word form as 68 hundredths. I would say that in word form as 68 hundredths. Okay, now I'm going to go through and we're going to do a couple of these really fast. Ready? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 91, 0.91. Boom. Next one. Ooh, there's only 10 on this one. Let's see. So 1, 2, 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10. How would I write that? Is this going to be correct? No, we need to write it as a decimal. So how would we do this as a decimal? We're looking for our tenths place. The tenths place is right here. So the way that we're going to do that is 0.2. Okay, now we've already done several of these examples, so I'm going to go ahead and go back to Google Classroom, and I'm going to click on our next one. Here we go. We need to shade. So we're supposed to show this by shading it, okay? Show 7 over 10 by shading the model. How would I do 7 over 10 by shading this model? I have to close my door and I want you to think. How would I show 7 over 10? If you said you would shade 7 in, if you would shade 7 in, you are correct. Nice work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Submit. Woo! Show 74 over 100 by shading the model. Okay, so this one's a little bit trickier. I'm going to show you how to do this. We would need to shade in 74 because that's our number. Our numerator is always the number that we shade. Our numerator is always the number that we shade. Numerator is up top, denominator is on the bottom of a fraction. Here we go. You can just kind of drag and pull. And when you drag and pull, you can do it. I know 70 is here because that's 7 over. And then I need to count 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I'm going to really quickly do this one. There will be one. I'm doing 58 because it's the numerator. There should be one coming up pretty soon that's going to be different. This one. You're going to have some of these that are in their tenths places and hundredths places, okay? So what we're going to do right here for this, we have to convert 0.2 into a fraction. We've already been doing this. We've been doing this several times. We can look over here. 0.2 as a fraction would be 2 tenths, would be 2 tenths. We can show that also by doing this, 1, 2. So we would just put 2. It's pretty easy. The numbers that we see after a decimal point, that's how we would convert it. I hope that makes sense. The numerator in your fraction will always be the same as what comes after your decimal. The numerator in your fraction will always be the same as what comes after the decimal. Boom. I hope that makes sense. Now I'm going to go ahead and come back. After you do both IXLs, you will be coming down here and you will be clicking, oh dear, I don't know what I just did. It's okay. You will be coming down here and you will be clicking on fractions. This is our exit ticket for today, so I want you to try your hardest and work really, really hard to try and do your best so I know what you know. If we don't do super well today, that's okay. I will spend tomorrow going over the same thing. The one that I would like to go over is this very last one. What decimal is equivalent to 4 over 10? We just did an example of this, and I want you to think. This is tricky because it's not like how everything else was for the IXL sheets. So this one is your practice to try and think outside of the box and think about what we learned. Please make sure that you use this chart if you need to and take your time. Have a great rest of your day, and I cannot wait to see what you come up with. Bye-bye!